Studio. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother, sir.
And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. I heard there was a new face at Nantong. In fact, so much. There was a whole tsunami. So much so that you are now taking account of which constituencies went where.
Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah. First, how are you doing?
First and foremost, let me say a very good morning to you and the team. Say a very good morning to the listeners, especially to those that will be listening to me from my beloved constituency, that's Nantong in the northern region. I will also say a very good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his Minister of Finance. So now you know what? This morning, the usual traffic in Accra, I didn't see it. You know why?
Why? Oh.
Ghanaians went to sleep and they overslept. They slept with joy last night. They slept knowing that they have voted for a president and a government that is listening.
Okay.
They have voted for a president and a government that has credibility. They have voted for a president and a government that feels the pain of the people, that feels that, look, there's a problem and there's a need to solve that problem. So I am very well this morning. And I would also say Ramadan Kareem to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. We are very happy this morning. We are a happy country looking forward to a prosperous Ghana. And I told somebody yesterday that with the way Dr. Atufosun presented this budget, I am sure the MPP will remain in opposition for the next 10 elections, if not more.
I see. Because they have a lot to say. But first, I want to start from you before I go to the budget. We'll go to the budget shortly. First, how is Parliament treating you?
Well, I must say Parliament is treating us all well. The good people of Ghana gave us an overwhelming majority. And thankfully, we have a majority that is made up of credible men and women that have shown the desire to make sure that Ghanaians really feel the impact of that overwhelming majority they have given us. We are working together as a majority to ensure that the promises that we made the good people of Ghana, we fulfill each and every one of them, to make sure that that reset agenda we told everyone else, we fulfill them, to make sure that in the next 4 years, we are not going to only be on the streets of Accra shouting, vote for us, on the streets of Tamale in Nantong shouting, but the good people of Ghana would say that, look, this is a government that has fulfilled its promises. This is a government that has outdone itself. Let's give it another mandate. So for us in Parliament, everything is going on well. It's a new environment. We are learning a lot of new things, especially for those of us who are going in there for the first time. And fortunately for us too, we have very good seniors on the bench that are also doing their best to make sure that they carry us along. So it's a very good experience. And I thank the very good people of Nantong for giving me that opportunity to represent them in Parliament. I do not take that opportunity for granted at all.
So you're not new to leadership. In fact, when I was checking, even when you go to Parliament's page and a little check on you, you've been in senior roles in the health sector. But how are you finding this new role? Now you are no longer in the health sector. You're now having to make a shift to politics. Is it something that you're used to? Having been in politics for long?
Well, I would say my political career started way back as a child because my father was a politician.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yes. My father was initially a teacher, and during the PNDC era, he was made. You know, those days the district chief executives, they used to call them district secretaries.
Yes.
So he was made the district secretary for Zabzugu Tatale in those days. And then later on made the district chief executive for Sabulgu Nantong. And then from there, I think during the first Professor Atamil's government, he was the general secretary of the National Association of Local Authorities of Ghana.
Oh, okay.
So I have been going through with him in the trenches and learning. So the political career actually started from there. And then through secondary school in Prempeh College, I was the president of the Debaters Club. And then in 2004, we were national debate champions. So and then I was also president of the Medical Students Association and the University for Development Studies. So I think I have gone through some politics, thing, etc. So we have been through. And then, you know, being a medical person too is political. I'll tell you, say that it's not easy to take care of a patient. To take care of a patient, you need to understand the patient.
Okay.
You need to understand the psyche of the patient. Sometimes you are talking to somebody and then you are going to get a certain attitude. If you do not have that patience to be able to adapt, you can't be. So I think every medical person would make a very good politician.
Yes. And I'm realizing that there are a couple of doctors, medical doctors, trained. Clearly, you people, you will not struggle to get a job anywhere in the world, but you decide to leave the consulting room, leave your surgical tables, and you are moving into the world of politics. Any particular reason why?
So I for me as a person, I have not entirely left the consulting room. I still make time to practice, especially to serve my own people.
Okay.
I mean, if I don't have the opportunity to practice for anyone apart from my people,
you do it
I
for
am
your
still
people.
doing it for my people. But essentially, I remember when I contested the first time in primaries, which I lost.
Okay.
That was in 2000.
Okay.
In one of our interviews, our current chairman, General Mosquito, he told me that, look, you from everything they are saying you look like a very good surgeon. So why do you want to leave the theater and then join politics? So I told General that we have done a little bit of clinical work, but we also want to influence policy.
Okay.
Sometimes when you are just at the receiving end and you know what you can do to influence policy, it's better you get involved in that area where you can influence policy, you can make a change. So that once you influence the policy, you make the change as a politician. Even when you are given a certain time to serve and you move on, you will go back to a better health sector.
Okay.
You go back to a better agri sector. You go back to a country where policies are made well, students are studying well, our schools are running properly, there's good sanitation, and at the end of the day, they are happy Ghanaians. So I'm sure that is one of the reasons why a lot of medical or health personnel are also trying their best to get involved in this process of policy making, in this process of improving and making Ghana a better place.
Now, that's quite interesting because you could be president of GMA, for example. There were less pressure on you. There will not be people coming from constituency always on your head and doing less pressure. You could go through the GMA. Why choose the path of?
Well, like I said, Senna, you may be calling it pressure, but I call it the love for my people.
Okay.
When you want to serve and you want to serve really well, you should not be too worried the amount of pressure that is put on you to serve.
Okay.
What is the pressure my people are putting on me? They are saying that, look, as member of parliament, what can you do? What policies can you put in place to make sure that our roads are good?
Okay.
As member of parliament, what can you do to make sure that the children in Zwao, the children in Tampion, the children in Nanton, the children in Zokon, they are sitting on the floor. What can you do to make sure that we have chairs in the classroom for them to study and have good quality education? They are saying that the hospitals we have in Joanjor Kuko in my constituency, what can I do to ensure that there's a bed? What can I do to ensure that when a pregnant woman comes, there's a midwife that will be able to attend to her so that she delivers and goes home with a healthy baby? So those are the pressures. And then the next thing they are going to ask is, what can you do to help me have a better education?
Okay.
So when you put all these together, you will see why I almost overslept today. Because when you look through the budget,
I see.
you will see better things are coming. And the pressure that's coming to me, the government is very likely to take it away from me and then make me also concentrate on doing legislation and all that. Because if you look critically at what the things this government is coming up with, you would see that the pressures that could have been put on you as a person or as a member of parliament or as a politician, we are putting in policies as a government to take those pressures off individuals.
And I'll come to your highlights. But you are taking over from, so your problems should not be so many because you in Nanton until recently, you had a deputy minister as member of parliament. So a deputy minister is a powerful position. So I'm guessing a lot of your development issues have been dealt with and he will be in the position to lobby and ensure Nanton gets something.
Well, I would say he has done his bit.
Okay.
Because in this world of politics and service to our people, you cannot say that somebody has been a member of parliament for 8 years and has not done anything for the people. But if we look at what we're expecting to be done, especially when we're given that position as Deputy Minister of Agri. Remember, Senator, for us, in our place, most of our people are just, we are farmers.
Okay.
I would tell you,
Oh, really?
for the last 4 years, when the person I took over from was Deputy Minister of Agric, we did not have a single tractor.
Deputy Minister for Agric.
Well, and I say this, anyone who is listening to me from Nantong, from Northern Region, from Accra here, anybody, we've said this over and over, not a single tractor came into our constituency.
The people who did planting for food and jobs.
We didn't, yes. Well, we did not have tractors coming in. Look, men and women of our constituency had to sleep sometimes on their farms because there's just maybe one tractor around that has to farm for this person, the next person here. Yes, that is the kind of problems. That is the reason why we would see that in that election, the previous election, he won with almost over 6,000 votes. And then we came to beat him with over 3,000 votes.
Okay.
Because the people were not satisfied. We felt that he had the opportunity to make life better for us, especially if he couldn't do anything at all. But in the agri sector, we're expecting that at least for our mothers and for our fathers, they'll have access to agri farming inputs, tractors, fertilizers, etc. Look, some of the agri inputs came in as late as around the 1st of December.
Okay.
And they put them in warehouses.
Around the 1st of December?
Around the 1st of December. So in December, we don't farm in Northern Region.
I know.
But it came
in. It's a dry season.
Yes, you know why? It was supposed to be used as a political tool for the elections. But they decided that, look, let's keep this in the warehouse, and then after the elections, we can share it. But unfortunately, their own members broke into these warehouses after December 8th, and they have taken away these properties that belong to the state. Currently, the police is looking at those cases to see who actually broke
People
into
broke in and took these inputs.
Yeah, they knew where they put them.
Oh, okay.
And then, so that people bring things in, they put them where they want to put them. Only they and their supporters know where they are keeping their stuff. After the elections, when they now know that, look, we have lost power, they say we can't lose power and lose everything else. So you would have heard some things around the Northern Region where people were breaking into warehouses. So Nantong was one of the places. I think we're not satisfied with the kind of representation he gave us. The people were not satisfied. They have given me that opportunity for these 4 years. And like I said, I don't take that opportunity for granted. I would need to work to prove that I am worthy of another opportunity for another 4 years.
Great. If you just join us, we have the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Nantong constituency, Dr. Mohammed Sharif Abdul Khalik, join us in studio. We're having a conversation around the budget. This is just prelims, me trying to get into his election. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So a few things in mind now. You are from the health sector. That's where you worked for a few years now.
For the last 12 years.
Last 12 years, spent there over a decade in the health sector. You are from what I hear from you, you are from a largely agrarian constituency. So have that in mind. What were your highlights? The highlights for you? Because of course, people usually say that in most farming communities, there are so many poor people. Farmers usually don't tend to make the money from agri as much as they should. So for you, what were your highlights from the budget?
Okay. So that before we even look at that, last week we had His Excellency John Dramani Mahama come to Parliament to present the true state of the nation address. And we all, Dr. Ayamga was saying she was depressed just last week when she saw the figures. I can tell Doc that Ghanaians have been depressed for the last 8 years. And then when you look at the figures, you cannot just help but ask yourself, we had a government that was presiding over such a thing. Your listeners out there, I would ask them, if you are the president of a republic where a 721 billion debt is left over for you, would you lament or not? If you are the president of a country where ECG leaves over a debt of 68 million, would you not lament? If you are a president of a country where independent power producers, you owe them about $1.7 billion, wouldn't you lament? If you are president of a country where Cocoa Board owns about 32 million Ghana cedis, won't you lament? If you are president of a country where they hand over a country to you, where people, either deliberately or not deliberately, you open the Akosombo Dam, people's homes are swept away, and you have a president go to them and say, you are even lucky I am here. I wouldn't have been here because how many votes do I get from here? Wouldn't you lament? If you are president of a country where children, you have a new curriculum, children do not have books to study, and that country is handed over to you, wouldn't you lament? We need to be very honest with ourselves as Ghanaians. If you do not tell yourself what the problems are, and you do not see what solutions you can put in, then what business do you have being president? Is our brothers and sisters in the MPP telling us that they are afraid of their own record? Because I'm mentioning your record to you. Why are you calling it lamentation?
Okay.
So the president did what he had to do. We all have seen the true state of our nation. And then yesterday, Article 179 and 180 enjoins that the president must present whatever he would want to spend within a certain budgetary period from this year till the 31st of December. And thankfully, the finance minister, Honorable Dr. Atuforsen, for the first time, Senator, when a budget is read, you know those days when budgets were read, market women will say, we won't sell our milk again. You know, they read a budget like in the morning. By 5 p.m., if a tin of milk was 1 cedi, when you go to buy it, it becomes 1 cedi, 20 pesos. Senator, today, go out into the market. The budget was read yesterday. Look at the acceptance rate of this budget. People are so calm. Nothing has gone up. There's not even traffic around. People are happy with this government. We have told the Ghanaian people what we want to do through this budget. And I want us to take it step by step. We'll get to agribusiness. If you want, let's break it down slowly, one after the other. Then we'll look. We would end up with the economic bit of it. I always say, look, I'm a medical person. I'm a gynecologist. I'm not an economic. But, you see, the best economics in the world is what people have in their pocket.
That's true.
The bread and butter issues is what is economics to us. So first, I want us to go down. Let's look at education. Let's look at the GET fund. And then we'll try to explain what capping and uncapping means. Because you see, Senator, we said we try a lot of things in there. Somebody says that, look, they have uncapped GET fund. There's somebody that's listening out there that does not even appreciate what you mean by capping. What is capping and what is uncapping. So, Senator, you know, the GET fund levy is in a form of taxes that we take. So the example I'll give is the GET fund levy. So government takes this levy and decides that we have taken, say, for example, 200 cedis. These 200 cedis, we are not going to give everything to GET fund for its for it to run its affairs. What we'll do is that we'll give 20% of the 200 Ghana cedis to GET fund. And then the other 80% we'll pay it into the consolidated fund to do any other thing we want to do. So GET fund may just get about 20%. I'm using that just hypothetically so that we understand what capping is. But now what we are saying as a government is that we will uncap it. What it means is that if you take 200 Ghana cedis, all of that should go to GET fund for it to carry out its activities. It's the same thing with the NHIS levy. We are saying we are uncapping it. Look, you see, when money is going to the consolidated fund, it can be used for any other purpose. And, you know, that is even where a lot of the chop can come on. Because where it's capped, you know that there are budgetary restrictions on it. You can't do anything. But when you uncap, when we put a lot of the chunk of the money inside the consolidated fund, you give opportunity for people to play around with the money that's seated there. So now we are saying that we are uncapping GET fund. From uncapping GET fund, we are going to raise so much revenue that we made a promise to the good people of Ghana that the first year academic user fee will be free. And then our brothers in NPP were asking, where are you going to get the money from? Yesterday, we showed them where the money is going to come from. Because we're just looking at somewhere around a little over 3.1 or so. But from Get Fund, if we uncap it, we're getting about 4.5 billion. So we put all that money to take care of what? All these things. So one, the first year academic user fee, we are absorbing it. We are spending over 200 million from all that also to help with what? Free sanitary pads for students in our primary and secondary schools. When you are in Accra, you may not understand the impact of this particular intervention. That's why I was very happy when the EduWatch, it actually should not be an intervention. It should be a policy. Look, for me from the north, and for any other person, and as a gynecologist, when you have your period, usually it should be between 2 to 6 days. 2 to 6 days. These are kids we have in school who have their period. Sometimes because they do not have sanitary pads, they will miss school for 2 to 6 days in a month. Do the mathematics for a year and do the mathematics for the time they are in school. Usually they may start, these days because of our diet and etc., young girls start their periods quite early. So by 11, sometimes 12 years, young kids are having their periods now. Do the mathematics and see the effect this would have on the child's education. Do the mathematics and see the effect without a pad. Some of these people use all sorts of things. The medical implications on the health of these people, of our young girls. So we're saying we're taking this off the burden of what? Parents. People living with disability. We're saying entirely for them, for the 4 years, if you find yourself in any tertiary institution, it is going to be for free. How are we getting the money? We said what? We are uncapping Get Fund. We are making those funds available. And thankfully, too, we have an education minister who, I call him the 24-hour minister. He's everywhere, working tirelessly to ensure that the goals and aspirations of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is achieved. Let's come down to the health sector.
But on the matter of the Get Fund, the criticism from the New Patriotic Party is simple. Now, Get Fund usually is committed to educational infrastructure. Now, if you're putting policies like that on the Get Fund, you're essentially taking money that should have been spent in educational infrastructure on goods and services, this kind of policy intervention, paying fees and others. That are you not, in essence, defeating the very purpose of the Get Fund?
Senator, education, goods and services, infrastructure, they are twins. It should go hand in hand. If you have a beautiful structure standing in Nanton, and the children cannot pay the fees, what's the benefit of that structure? If you have a beautiful edifice standing at the University of Ghana and first-year students cannot pay fees, what's the essence of that structure? We are saying together, we have done this before. How many of the E-blocks did we commission? How many of them did we build? By capping Get Fund, how many secondary schools were built in Ghana by the NPP? How many? They capped it. They got money. How much of that Get Fund money was used in infrastructure? The last time the former Minister of Education said about 5.1 million children benefited from the school feeding, right? When he was pushed, he said it was about 3.1.
Yeah, that's from free SHS.
Free SHS. So essentially, you are asking, so for us as a government, what we are saying, this is a priority intervention. We will put the money in that intervention. Government will still find money to put in place for those infrastructure. We have done this before, and we will do it again. Yes.
Great. You're going to the health sector for you.
Yes. So, and for me, the health sector, yesterday I was smiling. Look, so now you are in radio and you are on TV. Every single day when you watch TV, you find people, look, this person is going for this cancer treatment, needs 12,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, that's true.
This person is going for dialysis, needs this amount of money. This person needs this to go to India. From the budget yesterday, we are uncapping health insurance. It's going to make available about 9.3 billion or so Ghana cedis for the health sector. This money will go into claims payment. It will go into the acquisition of essential medicines. It could go into the what we call the Mahama Care. And I'll just tell you briefly about the Mahama Care and all these things about dialysis and the rest. If we are able to pay our claims on time, look, the health insurance has a 90-day payment agreement with all health institutions. What it means is that when I submit a claim to insurance, in 90 days, insurance is supposed to reimburse me for that claims payment. But I can tell you, someone who has worked in there before, you can have claims that will sit there for 6 months. And you are running a hospital, because most of the hospitals in Ghana, our major source of income, or our IGF, is coming from the insurance reimbursement.
You're saying, what time are you talking about? Because the MPP says they have essentially dealt with the matter of the delays.
Senna, you see, I'm going to borrow this from my uncle A.B.F. Husseini, that when the MPP man greets you good morning, raise your head and see where the sun is located before you respond. It's a 90-day contract.
Okay.
In 90 days, once I've submitted my claims to you, these claims should be paid.
Okay.
If you do not, what you are essentially saying is that that hospital should shut down because they cannot buy essential medicines. Some of the hospitals, and the other thing people do not know, some of the hospitals have what we call casual staff. These are staff that are not on the government payroll, but they still play essential roles in the hospital. Some of the cleaners and the rest, some of them are not on government payroll.
Okay.
So sometimes, look, we have hospitals that you find their casual staff are up in arms with the hospital management because they haven't paid them. So in uncapping this, we make money readily available to pay claims and pay it on time. And also to pay what? Realistic tariffs for the various services that are rendered by the hospitals. Okay. What it also means is that essential medicines will be bought. So now, the sad part of sometimes our health system is that somebody is having is on the national health insurance and gets to your hospital, they say, look, mommy, today the paracetamol we don't have, you need to go across the road to buy.
Yeah.
So we want to solve this problem. It will also solve the problems of vaccines. About 9 or 10 months ago, you would have heard children born in Ghana, born in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, could not be vaccinated. BCG, just BCG, to prevent tuberculosis. BCG. The vaccinations against the 6 childhood killer diseases. Children in Ghana could not be vaccinated. Mothers went to clinics and they had to go for several weeks before they will get a vaccine for their kids. So now what we are saying, let's make the money available, let's get these vaccines available, let's make sure that every clinic, every CHIPS compound, wherever a vaccination is needed, wherever there's a child that needs to be vaccinated, we do what? We get these vaccines. Just recently, we're having issues of meningitis in the Upper East and Upper West region. We want to solve these problems and make sure things are working out. Now we have what we call the Mahama Care. This is where we are looking at, and for me, it's very heartwarming to know that somebody is thinking that there's a problem, and because there's a problem, let's find a solution. What is the problem? Worldwide, we have an upsurge of non-communicable diseases. When we say non-communicable diseases, we are saying diseases like hypertension, diabetes, etc., and all these related complications that come along. Because one of the commonest complications of your diabetes or your hypertension can be renal disease.
Okay.
It can be stroke.
Okay.
So all those things that come together, or it could be a coronary heart disease, all these things come together. And so what are we saying with Mahama Care? We are saying, look, we have an upsurge of non-communicable diseases. What can we do to nip this in the bud? We have patients that are running with chronic diseases that need certain interventions like dialysis, etc. Are we going to allow all our people, the Ghanaian people, to just be, look, if I say, when you have renal disease, it ridicules you. It opens you up for ridicule, you and your family, because at the end of the day, you are going to sell everything. Dialysis, sometimes one session can cost you like 800 or so Ghana cedis. And sometimes you need 3 sessions in a week. You will end up selling all the property you have and you still not get cured. So Mahama is saying, look, let's create this trust fund. Let's put money into this fund. Let's let people who need these services, let them apply to this and do what? Let's get them to get the services they need. Look, I think that if we run this very well, because once you have this trust fund, what I think we should do is that it's a Ghanaian trust fund. It's for every Ghanaian. It should be a non-political trust fund.
Okay.
It should not be something that will be left in the hands of just politicians. It should be left in the hands of people or technocrats, so that we are generally going to be fair to every single individual that would require services from that trust fund. Again, we are saying that primary healthcare will be free. Primary healthcare is what? It's healthcare at the basic level.
Yes.
So for some areas in my community, let's have people walk in. Let's have the Oniado buses. Look, Senna, if you go into a community with your Oniado bus or whatever, with a set of nurses, what have you come to do? You have come to educate them on cholera. You have come to educate them on how to take care of children, on nutrition, etc. They are not even going to get those non-communicable. There is preventative medicine. So at the end, you prevent these people from developing the problem that will end up for you even needing the Mahama care. So health is a holistic thing. Look, we have people up north at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Most of the time, the CT scan is down. In the whole of the north, I don't think there's a working MRI.
When you say the whole of the north,
When I say that, it includes Savannah region, Northeast region, Upper West region, Upper East region, all of it. There's no functioning MRI. There is no MRI.
You're talking about 5 regions.
Yes.
And a significant landmass when it comes to Ghana's size.
Yes.
You're saying
there's no MRI, magnetic resonance imaging device. It's not there. I have one of my brothers that required an MRI for surgery to be done. The plan was that he must come to Kolibu, do it, and bring it back to the northern region. So finally, he ended up having the surgery in Kolibu.
Wow. Come all the way from to Kolibu?
Yes. So that's why we need to make these monies available. Let's buy ultrasounds. Let's buy this equipment that is needed so that it serves the good people of Ghana. I always say when it comes to health, health knows no political coloration. It doesn't. Look, today I'm sitting talking to you. The next moment, God forbid, you hear I'm lying in the hospital for a certain condition. So these are the things we are saying the budget is providing for our people. And then that is the hope that we want. Look, these are problems that common problems that confront our people on a daily basis in health. So let's look at it. Let's be happy that, look, we have a president that loves his people. We have a president that has the experience. We have a president that wants to leave a certain legacy so that several years to come, everybody would still mention the name of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that he was the president that came through and made sure that the health of Ghanaians was top-notch.
A few things before you move on to the next sector that interests you.
Yeah.
First, help us with this, because many of us have been wondering, for you who have been practicing, when you say primary health care, exactly what does that mean?
Yes.
And if you put a cost to it, it will not be expensive, because it looks like many Ghanaians, what they essentially get most of the time is primary health care.
Yeah.
So, but explain to us, what is primary health care? What, if I go to do it at the hospital, would you consider primary health care?
So like I was telling you, primary health care is essentially health care at the lowest level.
Okay.
CHIPS compound level.
Okay.
And you know, by policy, we're thinking that every electoral area must have a CHIPS zone.
Okay.
So that you can offer that. It includes what? Just normal checking of your BP, checking of your blood pressure, checking of your weight and your height, so that we can know your body mass index. Then we can determine whether you are underweight, you are normal weight, you are obese. Because all these indicators will tell us some particular diseases you may get. And then all those ones will also help us to tell you what to do to prevent getting those diseases. So your weight, you get your weight checked, you get your height checked, you get your eyes checked. Sometimes primary healthcare may not necessarily be to provide medication.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's preventative medicine. You have people walk to you and tell you that for your nutrition, this is what you must eat. To prevent this, to prevent cholera, you must keep your environment clean. You must wash your hands before you eat. Essentially, that is what primary healthcare is supposed to do. Because once you have a very good primary healthcare system in place, what you do is that you're preventing the future occurrence of diseases you would have paid so much more money to treat. It's actually less expensive to do primary healthcare than to do all this secondary, tertiary level of healthcare, because the expenses get to increase. So now, if, for example, I go to my village and I notice that Mr. Abukari, his BMI is just, or he's obese, I notice that his blood pressures are rising. I start telling him, Mr. Abukari, you need to do exercise. We need to continuously check your BP. You need to watch your diet. And then all that, if he follows that trend, he gets off that area where he may end up getting hypertension or diabetes or a stroke. That would now require him to be sent to, say, a teaching hospital for an MRI or a CT scan, or to be sent to a teaching hospital because he's developed renal disease. So these are the things that would happen at the primary healthcare level. Most of the things should be preventative. We teach people, we counsel them, and we let them know what to do to prevent those non-communicable diseases you're talking about.
Do you think we do a lot of that? Because I recall during the attempt to review the NHIS, that was under Mahama #1, one of the things that came up is that we don't do the NHIS spending. There's nothing directed towards preventive healthcare. Yet that is the surest way of reducing pressure on the NHIS, preventive healthcare. Do you think we do enough of that? And how much of that do you think we need to do if we are to have a healthy population?
I think we are doing not too much in the area of preventive healthcare. We do a lot of the curative healthcare. The person has had the disease condition already and you want to treat the person. But if we really, with how stressed our economy is, with how difficult it is to get money from government to roll out certain programs, I think the best way for us is to concentrate rather more on preventative medicine than curative medicine. If we spend more time, we get our community health nurses, etc., to do their house-to-house visits, see how children are being immunized, see how children, the nutrition people, children, see how even the older people, what their problems are, and you solve it at a much earlier stage. It is cost effective than waiting for the person to come to you with full-blown chronic kidney disease, and then you are running around to do dialysis. You are running around to see if you can have a kidney replacement. Or you wait, somebody has hypertension, does not know what to do, then the person comes down with a stroke. That stroke, the stroke the person gets, comes at a very high cost to the state and everyone else.
And then on the matter of Mahama Cares, or the Ghana Care Fund, how bad is the situation with non-communicable disease? Because nowadays you hear a lot of young people even have renal issues. Young people suffer strokes. Young people have hypertension, among others. How bad is it? And can that fund, how significant would that fund be? Because if the numbers are increasing, the cost of treating those things are very, very high. How much can the fund really cover?
Well, so we have a non-communicable disease crisis. And we are having that for various reasons. A lot of us have moved on from our normal local diets to a lot of diets that are not very good for our bodies. We have a lot of people that are selling a lot of drugs in the system that are very toxic to very essential organs of the body. We need to have a very serious regulation when it comes to drug sale, and especially herbal medication. We would have to have a very good policy and very good controls, I think the Food and Drugs Authority would need to really do a lot of work. Because then, to be honest, we have a lot of people on TV that parade themselves as doctors and are selling a lot of concoctions where you cannot really understand what they are selling. These things expose our people to a lot of problems. But to the question of whether the Mahama Care Fund will be able to solve all these problems, it may not be able to solve all the problems that we have with our non-communicable diseases. But then, what it can do is that it would serve as a benchmark for us to start solving it, and then we would see that we would even need to raise more revenue to make sure that we add up more money to that particular fund. Look, we can't, if you look at the burden of the non-communicable diseases, and looking at the allocation, we haven't had a very specific allocation yet. We all know that there's some 9.9 billion will be gotten if we uncap the health insurance. But whatever amount will be put in that trust, I don't think we'll be able to solve all the problems. But I think that it will make a great impact in the lives of these people that will be touched. Saving one Ghanaian life is as important as any other thing. One Ghanaian life, if we can save one person from this country of ours called Ghana through that fund, then it is worthy of keeping that particular fund. Yeah.
Great. Then there's the issue of, and I see the issue of essential medicines. Two things. First, essential medicine and the USAID funding. I know most of the work the USAID does, mostly is in the north, and in many other areas, poor areas where they come in and they intervene. How bad do you think that the impact of the USAID pulling out funding will be? And how would it affect the availability of essential medicine support, among others? And can government really fill that gap?
The good thing about, I'll start from, can government really fill in that gap? You see, we have a very experienced president, a president that cares. So now, the president has directed that his finance minister must make available funds to fill in that funding gap. To be honest with you, the pullout of the USAID, at least for then, they said for 90 days. So we'll see after 90 days what's going to happen after 90 days. But of course, yes, most people in the north will be hardly hit. You know, up north, the USAID programs include what we call the RING project. The RING project looks at nutrition for people, households, etc. They provide capital for women to go into farming, livestock farming, etc. That kind of thing helps to improve, because they believe that, look, once you improve the livelihood of the household, you are indirectly going to also improve the nutritional status of the household. So this particular project for now is on hold. So if you look at it, it's on hold. The same US aid also looks at what we call the indoor residual spraying. If our malaria mortality in the north has significantly reduced, especially our under 5 mortality for malaria. In the past, it was very high. I do not remember the figures, but I can tell you that it's drastically down now. Our under 5 deaths due to malaria, because we've had what we call the indoor residual spraying. Out of the USAID aid too, we have what they do. They provide insecticide-treated mosquito net for households. So now all these things are going to be put on hold. We have dosing for children under 5 for malaria as well. Yes, that we do in the north.
I see.
All these things are now going to go on hold.
So they do significant investments in health?
No, they do. They do significant investment in the health sector. And pulling out for 90 days, it's a difficult situation for us all there. And all this we are also saying, Sena, remember, the livelihood of people too are lost, because people have been employed in those areas, ring, indoor residual spraying, etc. These people, as we speak today, they are home. So uncapping the insurance levy would provide a certain level of comfort for our people whilst we await this 90-day period. But at the end of the day, Senator, I think Ghana is 68 years. We are 68 years old. I think it's high time for us to look within. Let's close the loopholes. Let's close the loopholes where money is lost and goes into the pockets of people. Let's close the loopholes where there's so much corruption around the system. Once we close those loopholes, if you see I was reading somewhere, the amount we get from US aid and the amount we lost due to corruption last year is about double.
Yeah.
So we have everything in this country. It is for me as a politician. It is for you as a journalist. It is for the listeners out there, the drivers, the nurses, all of us to agree that we have one Ghana. And because we have one Ghana, we must all be honest with ourselves. We'll be honest together. Then we can build this particular country we have together. If we do this, I mean, even if the USA does not come back, we should be fine. Yes.
Well, Doc is a member of parliament for Nanton constituency, Dr. Mohammed Sherif Abdul Khalik. I know his face will seem new to you if you're watching us on Facebook. It's likely because a new MP entry into the house was swept in by the green wave. Was swept into the house by the green wave. Anyway, we're just on, so education, healthcare. So far, education has interested you. We're happy about the things that have been put in place with education, healthcare too. Which other sector? Agric. Oh, largely. Okay.
Agric. But agric also, let's go back. You see, if you don't know where you are coming from, it's difficult for you to move forward.
And they said that's lamentation.
It cannot be lamentation that we could not meet. Cocoa, for example, has been the backbone of our economy. Last year, we could not meet a 300,000 tons contract. It has been rolled over now. The rollover, what it means is that, for example, this year we are going to pay about 495 million. What it also means for the cocoa farmer is that for each ton, they are going to lose about 4,000 Ghana cedis. Those that 4,000 Ghana cedis. And when I say this, you say I'm lamenting. This cannot be lamentation. We are telling you that you left the cocoa sector with a debt of 32 billion. This cannot be lamentation. This is a fact. This is the record. But what? So you would have noticed that as part of some of the acts that the finance minister wants amended includes the Cocoa Board Act, so that we can see how we close those loopholes and make this sector vibrant once again. Last year, we could not 50%. We could not meet 50% of our cocoa production.
50%.
50%.
That's significant.
So 50% is lost. Poor interest rates. What do you expect in Ghana? Hardships. What can we do to make it better? We know His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, what he has told us already. We have the AETA. That's the, what do we call, the agric economics. I have actually forgotten what is AETA, where we are putting about 1.5 billion.
Okay.
And that will take care of this Co-LINKZ.
Yes.
We are looking at about almost 100,000 or more annually of households.
Like agriculture for economic transformation.
Yes. That's what the abbreviation means. We are looking at putting that kind of money to do this Co-LINKZ. Look, somebody will be laughing and saying, but these people are not a serious government. If you provide for 100,000 or more households in a year, say even 50 beds. My good friend A+ in Parliament was giving the statistics the last time, what it means when you have lean meat and what. It's a lot of investment you are making to the people. We said we're going to form the agric mechanization centers. I told you already that one of the reasons why some MPs in the Northwest stopped away was because people did not have I need a tractor to farm and I don't have it. Let's get the money, let's get the agric mechanization centers, and then what happens? You make the inputs available to the people that need them. So for me, agric is one area. If Cocoa Board is working well, the small scale farmer in my community that's just farming to feed himself has his input, has his fertilizer, gets a tractor to plow, gets fertilizer, gets insecticides to spray the farm, and is able to make a little bit of money from selling and also have food to eat in their house. As member of parliament, I'll have my peace of mind. Senna, nobody wants to wake up in the morning and knock on another person's door for 1 Ghana cedi.
Not at all.
If you have gone to borrow money, you would understand what I mean. It's not an easy thing for somebody to pick a phone and tell a member of parliament that today I haven't eaten. While they haven't eaten, it took them a lot. Sometimes sleepless night. Can I even call my member of parliament to say I haven't eaten today? So agric is one area that we are saying that we are going to look at. I'll share some data with you just here. Look. Listen to this data. We are importing over 2 billion worth of food annually. $2 billion. Not Ghana cedi. Annually. So now, if we are going to keep this money within, what would 2 billion do for us?
That takes us over 30 billion cedis. Yeah.
So this is why we are saying, look, let's have the Feed Ghana program, right? So that we can increase domestic food production. Once you increase your domestic food production, all this $2 billion that we're saying that we are going to use to import food, it remains with us. Then we are able to put those things in our Mahama Trust and all these things. Look, we invest in certain parts of our economy that will be beneficial to all of us. Look, Agri Next program, what do you intend to do? 30,000 youth. Let's employ them. People want to go into agriculture. My good friend, the Deputy Minister of Agric, Honorable John Dumelo, he's made agriculture look so nice, so beautiful. People love to farm. Their only fear is that, how would I farm? Issues of land. When I farm and I get enough produce, would I get a storage for these particular facilities? So these are things we must look at. Fisheries. Look at the coastal area. Fuel. These people that just left power. These landing beaches where they form committees to take care of...
premise. Yeah.
Look at the mess in the system. So these are places that I think that as a government we are critically looking at. We have also a very, very, very hard-working agric minister in the person of Honorable Eric Opoku, and the fisheries minister also, Honorable Emiliata. They are putting their heads together, and I think food production will go up. We are not going to do planting for food and jobs was a fiasco. You can't be doing planting for food and jobs, and you are doing annually 2 million importation of food products into Ghana. You see, logically, it makes no sense. You are doing planting for food and jobs, but annually you are bringing in about 2 million.
2 billion.
2 billion dollars.
Yes.
It means that particular program has failed. And I don't think it's a program that this government would want to move forward with. Yeah.
Now, that's quite interesting, because I think what you're trying to do is basically to do the same thing. Support farmers.
Yeah.
Support farmers to grow more so we can grow what we need.
Yeah.
Now, essentially, you come from a place where we all call the food basket, even though you have only one season to plant.
Yeah.
There was an attempt to address the issue with one village,
one dam.
One dam. Do you have any of the dams in your constituency?
Well, I call that the so-called place. They said they had a one village, one dam. Is in a community called Champion in my constituency.
Okay.
You can send your reporters to Nandong and have a look at it and see if there's any water in that dam. I call it a one village, one stream. There's nothing. It's unfortunate how much money. Anyway, Honorable Howard Kumson already told us that how do you build a meaningful dam with $10 million? So it already, there was a verdict on that particular project. Yeah. I think it was just also an avenue to create money for people, the same create, loot and share kind of mechanism. But it has served no benefit for my people. No benefit
so
at all.
You do have it?
Well, to be honest with you,
we
have that thing. They said this is one village, one dam, but this is a dam, an already existing dam that they have brought. They brought in a caterpillar to say they will dredge it a bit.
Okay.
And then that becomes our one village, one dam.
Oh, so a dredged existing.
Yes.
Okay. Then that was the one village.
One dam.
Interesting.
But look, most of the policies, unfortunately, of the previous government was just something for the optics. Let's talk about it. Let's get the cameras to sight. Let's let the people of Ghana think that we are doing something. Once the cameras are off us, then let's get back to our normal thing.
I see.
Yeah.
But what do you think needs to be done? Because clearly, the North has a lot of capacity when it comes to cultivation of food.
Yeah.
But you have only one season in which you do that.
Yeah.
Do we still need to go back to the matter of irrigation and do it properly in the North? And how do we do it differently from what the New Patriotic Party did?
Yes. So when we say we have one farming season in the North, I remind people also that in Burkina Faso, they have harsher weather conditions, and they equally have just one farming season. But as we speak today, most of our tomatoes, most of our onions, is coming from Burkina Faso.
Yes.
What are they doing differently from us? Irrigation is one of the ways to go.
Okay.
Let's make sure that we have arable land. We have one farming season, but we have also good water supply. Irrigation would make life very easy for our people up north. Build a dam that can keep enough water, provide it for the farmers year in, year out. These farmers would farm. The government should be able to buy some of these produce from the people. Because once you farm and you don't get anyone to buy, then government buys. There should be a storage facility. Government does what? Government keeps it there. But if we leave this value chain thing all to the farmer, you go and do your own farming, find your own land, find your own fertilizer. Well, how many acres can the poor farmer from my area farm? Maybe 1 acre, just to get his 10 bags of rice for the family for the next 1 year. But if we come together with all this agribusiness thing that's in our provide capital for these farmers. Remember, I'm very, very interested in women farming. And I can tell you that the Women Development Bank, which has had its seed money already in the budget, will be a very direct source of income for our women. Look, Senami, I believe that if we want Ghana to thrive, we must make our women work. You see, as a gynae, I say, you give a woman one thing, and she makes it twins. So women double stuff. That's why I'm very interested in this Women's Development Bank. We tie all those things into the agri sector, provide incentives for the farmers, provide incentives for our cocoa farmers, let them feel the benefit of the hard work they are doing. And then at the end of the day, Ghana would benefit. And also, some of these things of the MPP failed because it was overly politicized. I genuinely, as a person, think that there are certain aspects of our economy, there are certain aspects of the work we do in Ghana, we must depoliticize it.
Okay.
We must look at it with non-political lenses. We must allow technocrats to work in that area. Once technocrats work in that area, they will work for the benefits of all of us. So I think in that agri value chain too, we have technocrats, we have agri economics, we have people in our universities that have very brilliant ideas. And for the first time in a very long time, and what have you noted? People are sharing their views on Ghana. People, in the last 8 years, people, all you had to do was shower praises. If you don't shower the praises, you will have problems. But everybody they have found their voices. Civil society groups, everybody. So once people have found their voices, I think our government is going to take on board all these people. Depoliticization of some of our sectors will be very critical, and then allow these technocrats to do a very good job for us. We want a better Ghana. The reset agenda is reset that will bring prosperity to all of us, and that would include bringing everybody on board to work hard and to improve the livelihoods of our people.
Great. We'll have to take a quick break. When we come back, our last break, we'll conclude our conversation with the Honourable Member of Parliament for Nantong on the budget, sharing with us his own highlights from the budget.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa musemo or gas. Afeidie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. You know buff, you know chop. Where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Hi! Sweetness!
You're bouncing me visa.
Nabani say.
Almost say, mini traveling experience.
Oh, relax. It's the year. Menyo Ruboko Bahamas. Bahamas.
Hey, na medenya visa.
Erko Bahamas. Wanji visa. Yerkaji enenywa.
Wow.
Yababa nenya travel experience. Bahamas. Sisiara. Mr. Tours and Cheap Tickets Limited will organize lovely tourist trip. Aqua Bahamas.
I will, Meko.
Lovely trip to Bahamas, yeah. You know your Accra to Nassau. Wachata flight Numu. Offering 17th April. Kesi 23rd April. Packaging now $5,500. What ticket to a hotel? Ya new beach Bahamas. Na ye cruise one sunu do messy. And you jeneba ya more. Love in Bahamas. And to register and sign a 28th March. Call for reservation 0544 733 528 Anna 030 500-72. Love in Bahamas. I say, my uncle blow.
Hi, my name is Ni Ashalokai. Join me this and every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Radio Gold 90.5 as we look at Knowing the Law right here on Radio Gold. Knowing the Law is proudly brought to you by Borges Olive Oil, the very best always. Alpha Garlic Capsules keeps you younger. Wembless 400, your one-stop dewormer. Crown Spices, the taste of true natural spice. And Consolidated Bank of Ghana, CBG. We always stand with you. Knowing the Law right here on Radio Gold 90.5 FM. Stay tuned.
You've been told the station is gold, never gets cold. So just be bold, advertise, 'cause here you sell out.
There's still the Gold Morning Conversation on Radio Gold 90.5 FM, your power station. We are live on Facebook, Radio Gold 905 FM. If you join, like, share, comment on Facebook. You can also send us a comment 059-922-922. 47 minutes past 9 is the time. Yes, at 10 a.m., we hand over to the king of mid-morning, Ochami Majumba, to take you through the mid-morning show. But I still have a studio. But sometimes when he say it like that, I guess sometimes when he said like that, it sounds like as if you just entered by luck. But
it was shed of hard work.
Took a lot of work. Eh?
Yeah, a lot. It takes a lot of work to take away a deputy minister of agric.
I see. That should take some fantastic work. But in the meantime, before we return to our